And welcome everybody here to y.W.c Predictions. We are here yet again getting ready for one of the big four pay-per-views. It's the biggest party of the summer, in case WWE hasn't nailed it into your brain often enough. It's SummerSlam, and we have a big crowd here as well for this big pay-per-view. Let me introduce the boys in the band. First off, we've got Kyle Mathews, who comes into this as the current, which one? Intercontinental Champion.
Working man's title.
Yeah. Next up, we have Chris Dollerton, who's sick.
Hello.
Okay, well. Anyway, we have Preston Plourd.
Hello. Hopefully I'll get some gold again soon.
We have our X Division champion, Kev Shearer.
Bang! Yo, it's me. It's me. It's K-E-V.
Copyright infringement.
We have Trent Dunham.
Now you're gonna see we're a seven-man band.
And we have three new people that have joined YWC since our last pay-per-view. One of them is here tonight, and please welcome Mr. Matt McIntire.
Hello.
Hello.
The other two people that we have as well, part of our list. What? Oh, the other two. The other two people that we have as well that have joined the YWC crew are Stephen Pollard III and Ryan George. SP3 says he's going to get me his picks later on tonight, so we won't have his picks, but we have Ryan George's picks as well as James Shelly's and Tim Fiegel's. So we will be giving you those picks during the course of each one of the matchups. We're going to try and go through this quickly here because I haven't even bothered to count how many matches, but I think it's like
13.
Oh, I thought it was 60, but I thought I would be on the safe side.
60 matches, yep.
60 matches.
Well, it's going to be 7 hours. They've already confirmed that 5-hour pay-per-view, 2-hour pre-show. So that'll be
Seth,
fun.
this is why you don't get the numbers from Shellsworth. That's why he's not here right now.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, so let's start things off. I have this as a matchup. I don't really know if it's going to be a matchup, but we're just doing it anyway. If it's not a matchup, then it's not even going to count. But they're saying that Elias is going to be having a concert at the beginning, I think, during the pre-show, and I'm expecting Bobby Lashley's going to interrupt him, and we're going to have some kind of a matchup between those two. So we're just going to have just a Elias versus Bobby Lashley match where we'll just make our predictions. So start with Kyle.
First of all, how the hell does Bobby Lashley go vying for a spot in the main event to working with Elias, of all people, and just a random thrown together feud?
Are you sure he's not walking with Elias? Are you sure?
No, he's been throwing Elias around. He ain't walking with him. But if this does happen, Bobby Lashley has to win. I mean, so that'd almost be like a burial at this point if they have him job out to Elias.
Okay, Chris.
Well, I see why they're doing it, because remember when Bobby Lashley returned back in April, he attacked Elias. So I don't think they really settled anything on that, so that's probably why they're doing it, just to wrap that up and get it out of the way. But to make a pick, I'll go with Bobby Lashley.
Okay. Preston.
I'm gonna go with Lashley. I'm very reluctant about that, but I'll go with him.
Okay. Kev.
Just for prediction's sake, I'm gonna go with Lashley. I'm not even sure if this. I'm not positive if it'll even be on the card. So.
All right, Matt.
I think Lashley's just gonna rushing Elias like he.
All right, Trent.
I want Elias to win, but I don't think that they're gonna have Lashley lose to him at SummerSlam. So yeah, I'm gonna go Lashley on this one.
Okay. I'm going to actually go with Elias, just basically because of the fact he had that CD come out and everything. So I'm just going to go with Elias. And we didn't have anybody make any pre-predictions on that one because that was one that I just threw in and nobody knew that it was there. So I'll have to let Shelly and Tim and Ryan know to make some prediction about that matchup a little bit later. So let's get
in. Did we say the... Sorry to interrupt, Seth, but did we go over the title matchups between us?
We didn't. Do you want me to do that before we get into the actual matchups here?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
All right. So first off, for the World Championship, we've got Dillon Young defending his championship against James Shelly, Matt McIntyre, Michael Norman, and for the second pay-per-view in a row, Preston Plourd's actually battling for that championship. And this this is interesting too because Preston and Dillon both have a bonus point for this pay-per-view because the two of them tied in the World Championship matchup at Extreme Rules. So that's where our 2 bonus points are actually at. Intercontinental Championship, Kyle Mathews is defending against Joshua Michaels, Trent Dunham, and Levi McIntire. For the Cruiserweight Championship, Tim Fiegel is defending against SP3, myself, and Ryan George. And for the X Division Championship, Kev Shearer is defending against Dillon Poteet, Chris Dollerton, Steve Rada. Haha, Kev and Chris are in the same division. Anyway.
So basically, I only have one real opponent here. Got it.
I'm his teammate in Hershey's, and now I have to go again. Never mind.
And to be fair, Poteet has been making picks. So.
Okay, so just 2 real opponents then.
Okay, 2 real opponents then.
Right. And Steve, I took Steve out of the group, and then he wanted to be added back, and he says he's following the stuff, but he's not making picks. Go figure. Anyway, let's go on to the actual matchups that we know are officially going to be taking place. Let's start with the 2 kickoff matches. First off, we've got the B team.
There's 3 kickoff matches.
Oh, is there? They've only got 2 listed here for me.
Yeah, there was one announced this past Monday. Do you want me to just say?
They haven't updated. They haven't updated it on the website then.
Well, they announced it on Monday on Raw. It's Raw Tag Team Championships, B Team versus Revival.
That's the one I was just saying.
Oh,
I've got the B Team versus the Revival and Rusev Day versus Almas and Vega.
Then you're missing the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, that's on the kickoff? Okay.
Yep, that's on the kickoff.
They didn't have that listed on the kickoff. I have that here on the card, but they didn't have that listed on the kickoff on the website. So.
Okay, carry on.
All right, so first we'll start off with the B Team versus the Revival. Why it's a tag team matchup for the titles, I don't know. But anyway, let's go right down the list. Kyle, who you got?
As much as I want to see the Revival become tag team champions, I don't think they're going to have Axel and Dallas drop the belts in the pre-show. So I'm going to say that the B Team retains. Please get them belts. Please get the belts off of them soon.
Chris.
I'll tell you the reason why it's on there is because, remember, on Monday, I don't know if you saw it or not, the Revival weren't the ones that took the pin. It was the Leader of Worlds that took the pin. That's why the Revival get a second shot, because they were the ones that were not pinned. That's why they get the shot. And if you want, for my prediction, I'll go balls to the wall. I'll pick the Revival. They've been on for a while. It's been over a year and a half since they've been up on the main roster in the tag team division. Have not held any sort of gold since their days in NXT. I think they'll have to change hands because I've seen the titles change hands before on a pre-show. So yeah, Revival is my pick.
And they were great jobbers to Reigns and Lashley. Preston.
Yes.
I'm gonna echo what Kyle said. I'm gonna say Curtis and Bo retain just because it's the pre-show match.
All right, Kev.
I'm gonna go what Chris said. I thought I heard something that when the Revival initially got called up last year, they were actually supposed to get the belts, but unfortunately, one injury after another to actually both members prevented that from happening. And yeah, I think what happened on Monday was that Revival actually hit their finishing move, but the B Team stole the pin. And that's why the Revival are getting this championship shot. And yeah, I'm gonna agree with Chris. I'm going all out. I'm gonna go Revival.
All right, Matt.
I'm also thinking Revival just because, like, Bo and Curtis kind of came together from what I saw, and they might have been together before, but from what I saw, they came together because of being back with The Miz. I just think the Revival are more experienced team, and they're gonna just titles away.
All right.
Oh, Seth, Dillon Young just sent his predictions in the y.W.c chat.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna bother to go look at them because we're in the middle of this, and I don't have time to plug his things in. So you guys can see his picks down in the description below of this video. Trent, who you got?
I'm going with the Revival because I have no idea why the B Team is even over. They really shouldn't have beaten Wyatt and Hardy. So yeah, I'm going with the Revival. Plus, like with what was stated earlier, they were scheduled to get that tag shot, but after injury, they just like had to keep putting it off. So yeah, I think the Revival are going to finally get it this time.
All right, I'm going to go with the B team, just basically because if the Revival couldn't win the tag team titles in a triple threat match, I don't think they're going to win it in a 2-on-2 matchup. I think they will get the titles at some point. I just don't think it's going to be at SummerSlam. All right, now we move on to the second, well, actually, the third now, the second of three kickoff matches. We've got Rusev Day, Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas, or Alamas, as Tim Fiegel apparently called him, and Selena Vega. Chris, who you got?
I see, with the attrition that's been going on with them lately with Aiden English and whatever, I feel like Aiden's going to do something, and it's going to end up costing them. So I'm going to go with Andrade and Zelina.
Okay. Kyle.
Even though this has been pretty lopsided the last couple of weeks on SmackDown with Zelina Vega and or Andrade Cien Almas going over each time they had a match with either Rusev or Lana, I think it's going to continue. I'm going Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega.
Okay. Preston.
I feel like I'm going as far on the limb as I can possibly go, but I'll echo what the previous two guys said. I'll go with Cien Almas, and I think English will inadvertently screw over Rusev Day again.
Kev.
So just random fact here. This will be Zelina Vega's third match on the main roster, which will literally be 3 times as many matches as she had down in NXT. That being said, yeah, I'm gonna go with Zelina and Almas.
Matt.
I'm gonna go with Rusev Day, like the other guys have said, barring any stupid screw ups from Aiden. I think if he can stay out of the match, Rusev Day is gonna just crush.
All right. Trent is currently AFK, but he's picking Almas and Vega, and I am going to be doing the same, just based on the fact that as a team, this is the first time that Almas and Vega are in a pay-per-view. I think, yeah. I was going to say Rusev and Lana, I think, as a team, is the first time they're doing it as well. But it seems very lopsided, and you've got the X Factor of Aiden English in there, and I think they're going to be breaking them up pretty soon. I'm surprised they haven't done it sooner. So I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for Rusev Day, at least with having Aiden English there.
If you count the mixed match challenge, then Rusev and Lana actually have done it before.
Good point. All right, let's move on to the... why don't we go to the final kickoff match then, I guess. We'll skip a couple here. The Cruiserweight Championship match. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. I actually haven't been watching 205 Live. I probably should be, but anyway, Kyle, who you got?
As much as I like Cedric Alexander, I think he's had a nice run with the belt, and I think it's time. I think it's time that he's going to drop it. So I'm going to go with Gulak.
All right, Chris.
I'm going to have to agree. Alexander's had a good run since WrestleMania. Yeah, Gulak's taking it now.
Preston.
Hope I'm not throwing away my chances at a championship, but I'll go with what Chris and Kyle said. I'll go with Gulak and see how he does with his gimmick of PowerPoint presentations with the title.
All right, Kev.
I agree. I agree with practically everything everybody said. Alexander's had a great run with the title, defending it against Itami and fuck, I forgot.
Murphy.
It's Gulak's time to get it.
All right, Matt.
Gulak's good, but I just think that Cedric's just too good, and Ced's just gonna keep holding on to it, at least for now, until they get maybe a better opponent.
Trent, if you're back. Okay, I guess he is back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. I haven't been watching 205 Live either, so yeah, I'm gonna say Gulak because kind of thinking that Cedric Alexander, he has been having it since WrestleMania, so yeah, it's about that time. It's been like almost 5 months now. So yeah, I think it's Gulak's time to get it.
All right, I'm gonna go with Cedric Alexander, just basically because to me there were a couple of times I think the title could have switched hands from AJ Styles, but he's kind of the face of SmackDown. I think Cedric Alexander's the face of 205 Live, so I think he's gonna have the belt still for quite a while. Next
Seth,
matchup.
have you been saying who everybody else that sent in picks?
No, I
has
haven't,
picked?
and I'm not going to. People can look in the description to find out. Because we are running out of time here.
Oh, okay, man.
So the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day. Kyle, who you got?
I'm gonna say the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't think the New Day really need the belts right now, and I think the Bar are gonna be the ones that end up taking the belts from them.
Okay, Chris.
Same point, Bludgeon Brothers.
Preston.
I'm gonna take a huge swing and go with the New Day.
Kev.
I'm gonna take a not so huge swing and go with the Bludgeons.
Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with most everybody else in Bludgeons. I think the Bludgeon guys are just strong right now.
Trent.
The New Day's good.
Trent.
Sorry. I didn't hear it. It's like the mic cut out for a second. Yeah. I like the New Day, but do we really need the tag titles back on them? I'm gonna say Bludgeon Brothers.
Yep, I'm going with the Bludgeon Brothers as well, because what's the point of having them squash 3 jobbers in 2 weeks in a row to have them lose their titles to the New Day? Doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
All right, next matchup we have is the rubber match of Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin. Why is this rivalry still going on? Kyle, who you got?
Finn Balor, and just put an end to this feud already. Nobody cared, but the first match, nobody cares about this one. Let's be honest here.
Chris.
Since this is a rubber match here, they're tied 1-1. I'm going to go outside the box. I've picked Balor so many times in the past, and it ends up not working for me. I've picked Corbin in the past. Every time I went back and looked at this, I'm undefeated when it comes to picking Corbin. I'm going with Corbin.
All right, Preston.
I'm gonna go with Finn Balor just because I hate the Constable gimmick.
Kev.
I actually like the Constable gimmick. That being said, I'm gonna go with Balor by roll-up, because it seems like Corbin always fucking loses by roll-up.
Matt.
I'm thinking Balor, but Corbin's been making him mad enough that I think we might see the Demon actually return and be the one that wins.
Ooh. All right, Trent.
Balor by way of Demon.
Nah, if the Demon was coming, then they would have made like a big promo about it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Balor. I like Baron Corbin and the Constable gimmick, but why is this rivalry even a thing? Because honestly, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, just give it to Balor and just end it already.
Yeah, I did some digging to find out that they were 1-1 and this was the rubber match, and 9 times out of 10 in a rubber match, best out of 3, the good guy always wins. So I'm going with Finn Balor as well. Next up, we got the United States Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Jeff Hardy. Kyle, who you got?
I'm going to say Nakamura retains due to Randy Orton interfering.
So are you saying that Jeff Hardy's going to win?
No. I think Orton's going to distract him somehow, and Nakamura's going to take advantage of it.
Okay, just making sure that we get around that little loophole there. Okay, Chris.
I think Orton's going to get physically involved, and it's going to be Hardy winning by DQ. So Hardy wins the match.
Okay. Preston.
I'll say Hardy wins by the same manner that Chris said.
Okay. Kev.
Yeah, I didn't actually think about that, but yeah, I mean, Chris actually brings up a good point. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Hardy via disqualification.
All right.
Because of Randall Keith Orton interfering.
Can you stop picking the same way I do? God damn it.
Matt.
Oh,
You and I are in the same division. Go ahead, Matt.
All right, Matt.
I think I gotta go with everybody else because the way Randy Orton was creeping in the last match Jeff Hardy had, I think he's gonna really mess with match somehow.
Okay, Trent.
Keep in mind, they already had that outcome on SmackDown when Jeff Hardy got his first rematch against him.
I'm gonna be a little bit different. Yes, Randy Orton's gonna interfere, but I think Nakamura is gonna sneak a low blow and get the victory like that, and the referee won't see it, so Nakamura retains. I won't say Hardy wins by DQ, but I will say that Orton will get involved, but the referee is gonna be too busy. Then Nakamura will sneak the low blow and get the win.
I'm going to go along the same lines as Trent. Basically because the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view poster features Randy Orton. So I kind of think that if Orton doesn't physically get involved in the matchup and Nakamura ends up winning, whether, it be by low blow or whatever, if he ends up beating Jeff Hardy, that takes Jeff Hardy out of the United States Championship picture and ends up making the rivalry between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, not necessarily for the title. I kind of almost think that Shelton Benjamin might get into the U.S. title picture against Nakamura, but I'm going with Shinsuke to be declared the winner. Next, we move on to this one's interesting because there's a lot of contract conversation and everything up in the air with it. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Kyle, who you got?
I think we talked about the contract situation. I think Daniel Bryan is going to re-sign with WWE, and I think this is going to be a long-term feud. It might end at WrestleMania, and I'm going to say The Miz gets the first one here.
Okay, Chris.
I'm going to have to agree. I think Miz has the best chance to start off this feud because this is the first match of the feud. And usually with feuds like this, but especially with the Daniel Bryan and The Miz stuff that's been brewing for years, it's I think the heel one's going to take the first one, and then eventually Bryan will beat him, but I'll go with The Miz for SummerSlam.
All right, Preston.
Same reasons that Chris gave. Miz to win just because of the first match of their feud.
Okay, Kev.
I'm probably going to end up regretting this, but I'm just going to differentiate from Chris just because, we're in the same division. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan. I'm probably going to end up regretting it, but oh well.
Okay, Matt.
I'm thinking Daniel Bryan because the fans are going to be much happier to see him win than The Miz win.
Okay, Trent.
I'm going to go with The Miz because, remember, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, anybody heard that giant pop that Miz got, during the Miz and Mrs. promo, talking about, he should be WWE Champion, that giant pop that he got. So, I'm kind of going based off of that, and plus, if this is going to be a long-term feud with Bryan re-signing, yeah, I do say that Miz will take the first win, then Bryan will get the second, then maybe it'll conclude at Survivor Series. I'm not sure, whatever the third pay-per-view is after SummerSlam and the one after that. So yeah, I'm going to go with Miz. Yeah, Hell in a Cell, yeah, I'm going to go with Miz.
Yep, I agree too. With Hell in a Cell being the second pay-per-view, I think The Miz is going to get the win here, and then he's going to kind of try and slither out of it, but because I think you're going to have The Miz versus Daniel Bryan inside Hell in a Cell, so that way The Miz has nowhere to run, and that's where Daniel will even it up. And I don't know where they'll culminate the feud, but yeah, I think The Miz is going to get the first blow in. Next up, we've got the SmackDown Women's Championship match, which a lot of rumors were it was supposed to be a fatal four-way, but they never did throw Asuka in on SmackDown. It's Carmella versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. I know who Kyle might want, but let's see who he goes with.
Well, I really don't know where they're going with this. Because think of it this way. They've had Carmella beat Charlotte. They've had Carmella beat Asuka, depending on that matter how you want to look at it. She was the winner of those matches. She hasn't beaten Becky, and if she wins here, who does that leave? I mean, the only one I can think of is Naomi, and I like her, but I don't think it'll be like a groundbreaking moment. I don't think it'll be like a groundbreaking moment to have, Naomi beat Carmella. So
Paige comes back from injury.
yeah, that'd be great to see. But I really didn't like to put Charlotte in this match to begin with. I was wanting it to be a one-on-one match between Becky and Carmella, and I'm just going to go with Becky. I want to see her get it. She deserves another run as champion, and I hope they put the belt on her.
All right, Chris.
Same thing. I'm picking Becky to win so many matches since last year because she so deserves to win them, but she never does. I think now I think tonight's going to be Sunday is going to be the night that she does it. Becky will get the title.
Okay, Preston.
I'm going with Becky, and then the reason I say that is because she could potentially defeat Carmella in her rematch clause, and then maybe Charlotte will turn heel against Becky.
Okay.
So,
plausible.
Yeah, Becky.
Kev.
I'm not gonna say Becky. I do agree with Kyle that I don't even see the kayfabe reasoning as to why Charlotte is in this match. However, I have a bad feeling that it's gonna be Charlotte getting the belt. That's who I'm gonna go with.
All right, Matt.
I think it'll be Becky, but it'll be Becky pinning Charlotte after those two just completely eliminate Carmella.
Okay. Trent.
I really, really want Carmella to lose, but I want to say Becky so bad because she does deserve to win. But knowing WWE will probably screw her again by bringing back Ellsworth after he got fired. So I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I mean, Charlotte. Again, she literally doesn't have a reason to be in this match. I don't even know why she's in it at all. But I want to say Becky, but at the same time, I want to say Carmella just throwing a swerve because no one said Carmella. I don't think because nobody wants her to keep the belt. Yeah, fuck it. I'll say Becky.
All right. I'm going to go with Charlotte. I think it's going to be just the reverse of what Matt said. I think Charlotte is going to pin Becky, and Charlotte is actually going to turn heel, and you're going to see Charlotte defend the title against Becky Lynch in Hell in a Cell. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship match. Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre in his corner versus Seth Rollins with the returning Dean Ambrose in his corner. Kyle, who you got?
And this is hard. Like this is one of the hardest ones on the card. I've heard so many rumors of something I don't want to see happen, but which is Dean Ambrose turning on Rollins, costing him the match, and then those two going on feuding. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ziggler. I don't know how, but I'm gonna say Ziggler wins and retains and all that.
All right, Chris.
I'm gonna take a different route. I'm gonna say Rollins gets the title. Ambrose turns heel on him after the match, setting up a triple threat feud for the future with Ziggler, Rollins, and Ambrose. And yeah, hell, maybe throw McIntyre in there. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I feel like Rollins, this is his, third opportunity since losing the belt? I don't think they're going to cap it here. I think they're going to keep it going, but Rollins is going to get the belt. Ambrose turns heel afterwards, setting up a three-way match with them or whatever. That's the way I see it. Rollins wins.
Okay, Preston.
I could see Ambrose turning heel since he hasn't been heel for a while, but I will agree with Chris and go with Rollins.
Kev.
This is probably...
What?
This is probably. That's all we know.
Oh, well, son of... this is probably one of the hardest for me to pick, in all honesty, except for a match that's going to come later in these predictions. I'm going to go with Rollins, just because 50-50.
All right, Matt.
I think it's going to be Rollins just because Dean's in his corner, because I think Dolph and Drew are going to try to do their normal mess with Rollins, but Dean's up to that real quick, and that's going to be able to win.
Okay, Trent.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I do agree with Ambrose turning heel, but I think it's gonna be like during the match, and like he abandons him during the match, and then Ziggler's gonna retain the belt. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ziggler.
All right, I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins, just cause actually, hold on, let me think here. No, you know what? I'm going to go with Ziggler. I've been thinking about Rollins, but Ziggler's had the title belt for a while, but I kind of think he can still do stuff having the title. So I'm actually going to go with Ziggler. Next up, we've got Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. And if Braun Strowman gets counted out, disqualified, etc., he loses the briefcase via that way as well. With that in mind, Kyle, who have you got?
Strowman.
Okay. Chris?
I'm going to differentiate. I'm gonna be shocked if WWE does this, but I'm going with KO.
Okay, Preston.
Just because I absolutely hate the fact that Money in the briefcase. Money in the
briefcase.
Money in the bratwurst.
As I was saying, I absolutely hate the fact that once again the Money in the Bank briefcase is on the line in a match. So, going with Strowman just because.
All right, Kev.
That was easy for you to say. Hello, Preston.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chris. I'm gonna agree with Chris on the part that I'd be shocked if WWE gives it to KO. And that's exactly why I'm gonna go with Strowman.
Okay. Matt.
I think I'm just gonna go with Strowman because he's the monster. But I agree. I don't understand why this became. I really don't even understand how this even became a thing.
Okay, Trent.
Strowman. If they do give it to Kevin Owens, I will be very shocked. I mean, because that would make the like Strowman's whole momentum kind of pointless if they just do that to him. So yeah, I'm gonna say Strowman.
I mean,
he left your channel.
The only reason why I picked KO is because I mean it makes sense in a way. I mean, it'd be really. I mean, there needs some drama needs to happen at SummerSlam. Some drama needs to happen, and I know we're gonna get it with Rollins and Ambrose. I just know we're gonna get it. But there's got to be some other drama elsewhere as well, and that's why I'm going with KO. I'm going outside the box. I'm hoping that KO gets it.
Well, I'm gonna go out on that limb with you, Chris. I'll bring the chainsaw, you bring the safety net. I'm gonna go with you with Kevin Owens.
What's your reasoning?
Everybody get the pitch.
The reasoning is because I have heard rumors that Kevin Owens is going to win the briefcase and cash in that night. But, you know,
That's what I heard too.
I'm going based off that rumor. Anyway, moving on, the Raw Women's Championship match. Alexa Bliss defending against Ronda Rousey. I think we can safely assume that Alicia Fox is going to be in Alexa Bliss's corner. I don't know if Natalya is going to be in Rousey's corner, what with the passing of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, but we'll have to wait and see. Kyle has already given his pick. He's going with Ronda Rousey. So, Chris, who have you got?
Well, I still think it's too soon for Ronda to get the title. I feel like but it is a big four. I don't think they can do much else with Bliss holding the belt. They can do so much with Rousey holding the belt. I'll go with Rousey.
All right, Preston.
I gotta agree with Chris. I don't know what else Bliss can do with the belt, so I'll go with Rousey. Also because I can't see her getting screwed over twice in a row.
Okay, Kev.
Rousey.
Alrighty. Matt.
I think Rousey, and because Alicia's going to get thrown out of the stadium area for something, and Alexa's just not going to have anywhere to go. Ronda's just going to roll her up.
Okay. Trent.
After Alexa Bliss cashed in to get the belt, I've hated her guts ever since. So yeah, I'm going with Rousey, and I hope she gets her ass kicked.
Okay. I'm going with Rousey to win the match, but I think Bliss is going to retain the championship. Just because Rousey is, I think, a better character when she's chasing the title than I think she would be holding the title belt. I mean, when you've seen her going after Alexa Bliss and everything, I mean, it's really done wonders for her character. If she gets the title belt, it's going to be very difficult to end up bringing out that side of her. With the kind of aggressiveness she brings, if I don't know if they would do this with her being as big a star as she is right now, if they would have her maybe win the title belt in a Hell in a Cell match with Alexa Bliss. I don't know if they would put her in a steel cage. You know, it would kind of make sense because she's a UFC fighter. So I kind of think that would make her more at home. And
they actually bring the UFC cage instead of the actual
well,
ring.
No, but can you see with Rousey getting another title shot inside Hell in a Cell, who would be more at home in a steel cage with Rousey's background? I think that would be a better place for her to get the title from Bliss, especially with the fact that I think you're going to see Bliss try all the championship tactics of, trying to get counted out, trying to get disqualified, all that kind of stuff. Not going to get that opportunity inside Hell in a Cell.
No, because it's no DQ.
So I think Rousey's going to win the match, but I think there's going to be like some shenanigans by Alexa Bliss, but Bliss is still going to keep the title.
I mean, we're all in the same boat with you that picked Rousey. If we picked Rousey to win the match, doesn't know how, but
yep, exactly.
That's all we go by here. That's all. Who's winning the match?
All right, we got 2 more matchups left. First
and
one,
7 minutes.
We're gonna go with the SmackDown WWE Championship. AJ Styles against Samoa Joe. It's TNA all over again. Kyle has gone with AJ Styles. Chris, who have you got?
Yeah. It's TNA all over again. I've done studying on Styles and Joe in TNA, and it's interesting, but Styles has had the belt for a long time. Coming up on a year almost now that he's held the belt. He's held it since, I think, late October of last year. Early November of last year is when he got it. We're closing in on that 1 year mark. And he beat Jinder for it, yeah. I see Joe getting it down the line, but I think Styles is going to hang on to it for now.
Okay. Preston.
I'm going to say AJ because I feel like that AJ is well deserving of a year run or more as WWE Champion. Hell, I'm just going to say this for record, just because of the lawsuit going on between him and Colt Cabana, I don't care if AJ surpasses CM Punk's 434-day title reign. I don't care.
It doesn't matter. Brock's already surpassed it.
That's true.
Well, that's the Universal title, and Punk had over 140 defenses, and Brock only has like 10.
Well, yeah, but that's, I know how shitty Brock Lesnar's title reign as Universal Champion has been, but he still has held it longer than CM Punk did.
All right, Kev, who you got?
All right, I have a dime in my hand here, because this was the other match I was talking about earlier. This is going to be really fucking difficult to decide. If it's heads, I'm going to go with AJ. If it's tails, it's going to be Samoa Joe.
What if it lands on his side?
And he goes with the referee.
He's going with Joe.
Okay. Matt, who you got?
I think right now AJ's just too over, and he's gonna win easily.
Okay, Trent.
I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe on this one. It's about time he's finally back in the main title. He should have been the one to beat Lesnar. But yeah, that completely went nowhere. So now he's going for the actual title. And plus, AJ, he has had it for nearly a year, going on like probably like 9 or 10 months. So yeah, I'm gonna say Samoa Joe gets it.
Okay. I'm gonna say first off, I'm a little disappointed with the build-up for this match. I think they could have done a lot more build-up.
Same here.
But regardless, I don't think they're gonna take the title belt off the guy that's on the cover of their WWE 2K19 video game.
Yeah, no.
So I'm going with AJ Styles. Final one. The Universal Championship match. Is it finally going to happen? I don't know. Anyway, it's Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Kyle has gone with Lesnar to retain. Chris, who you got?
This one was going to be the hard one for me because there's 3 ways this could go, and I'm going to try and skim this down real quick. There's 3 ways this could go. Lesnar retains the title. I've heard rumors that he wants to work for both WWE and UFC, but he signed a long-term contract with or some sort of contract after WrestleMania with or after the Rumble with WWE. So it could go one way, or it could go Reigns winning the title finally and then being cashed in on later, and then reigniting a feud with him and Owens from the past for the Universal title, or Owens gets involved and whoever he attacks first, and that this is saying that if Owens gets the Money in the Bank contract or Strowman or whatever, I don't care. I'm saying Owens because I picked Owens to win that match earlier in the night.
Are you
but
dumb?
if I'm going to be realistic here, please, God, just let it happen. I know how bad he is with the fans, but please let it happen. Lesnar retains.
Alrighty. Preston.
Well, I'm going out on that limb. I am bending that limb as far as it can go without breaking. I am going as far as I can and saying Roman Reigns. Just because I'm sick of Lesnar holding that belt for so long and not having any defenses. Or barely any defenses.
He's getting cashed in. And both whoever wins, I'm going to say it right now, whoever wins on that, they're getting cashed in on. Let's be honest.
Okay, Kev, who you got?
Reigns. I just want the fucking title to be on every week.
Okay. Matt.
I think, like some of the other guys have said, that it's going to be Reigns, but then once Strowman wins his match, I think he's going to turn it around and cash in that same night for the Universal. So, Reigns for a short time, and then Braun's going to take it from him.
Okay. Trent.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. Reigns wins it, then all of a sudden you hear Strowman's music and he's gonna cash in and take it from him.
Okay, I'm going to go with Reigns to win as well, but I think it's going to be Kevin Owens that's going to cash in the briefcase instead, and I think you're going to see Kevin Owens become the new Paul Heyman guy of WWE. Another reason why I think this is because the promo poster for Hell in a Cell features both Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, so I think that's going to be your Universal Championship matchup. Where Lesnar fits into... Where, what?
Can I change my pick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll switch to Reigns, yeah.
Now, where they're going to fit Lesnar into this, I don't know, because obviously, if he loses the title, he's going to get some kind of a rematch, but I don't think it's going to be at Hell in a Cell.
You know
Sure
Hell in a
about
Cell's
that?
not the
No
next
Universal
pay-per-view, right?
Champion has ever got their rematch.
Oh, Hell in a Cell's not the next pay-per-view?
That's in October, I think. Hang on, let me pull this up real fast.
Are you sure about the Universal Champion getting the rematch? No Universal
Oh, no,
Champion.
you were right.
has
Never
ever
mind,
gotten
Hell in a
rematch.
Cell is next. They moved it to
Well,
September.
that's a good
Never
point.
mind.
Finn Balor
Yeah,
never got
Hell
a
in Cell is
rematch.
next.
Yeah, Balor never got one. Owens never got one, and Goldberg didn't get one.
Well, that's for obvious reasons. Goldberg didn't get it, but yeah, you're right. Seth, Hell in a Cell is next.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I thought for whatever reason Battleground was next.
No.
What's after Hell in a Cell then?
Probably Battleground. Probably. I can tell you in a second. Hold on. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Well, while he's doing that, he'll tell us, he'll interrupt me while I'm doing this, but that's going to do it here for our predictions. You can check down in the description below to see the other people who they picked, and this Sunday is going to be SummerSlam. I'm probably not going to watch it. I'll watch the reruns because I don't want to sit through 7 hours of a pay-per-view, but...
I probably will.
And you can also check on Facebook, on our Facebook group, to be able to see who ends up walking away with the titles, whether they get retained, whether they swap. Bear in mind, like I said before, Dillon Young and Preston, I should say, have a bonus point to their credit based off of Extreme Rules in the last pay-per-view, so that will also count towards the totals. And aside from that, unless Chris isn't able to come up with what the pay-per-view is, anything anybody wants to say before I end this off, because we gotta go.
Next pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell on September 16th. The October pay-per-views, there's two, the Super Showdown in Australia and then Evolution in New York. That's everything leading up to Survivor Series.
If anybody takes my X Division title, they're gonna get these hands.
I'm not.
By my buddy Ryan George to say that.
I'm not too worried. You're a weakling. I'm not too worried. I'm not.
Chris, have I ever told you how much I hate your guy?
You tell me every day, you dick. Ah, shit. Never
There
mind.
goes the monetization. We were so close. Anyway,
It's always somebody that ends.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time for the next pay-per-view of Hell in a Cell in October. Till then, bye.
See ya.